Hello, dear listener, and welcome to a Bergkamp Wonderland. This is our very first preview show, and with me, it's the wonderful Colonial Cannon. All right, Shredder?
Yeah. Good. Happy Saturday. On my couch, just enjoying our terrible weather here and prepping for my next half marathon next Sunday.
Look at you. The only half marathon I'd do is if I found one down the back of the sofa. We used to have them called marathons, and they're called Snickers. Anyway, we're not here for that, are we?
No, we're not. We're not here for that. We're here for our match tomorrow.
Right, so this is the very first time I've used our new microphone. I'm going to do a review of it for the lovely people who sent me it. So the first thing we need to talk about is the all-time head-to-head of Arsenal v Man United at Arsenal's ground, only for Premier League games, because we decided that if it's going to be a League Cup game or it's going to be an FA Cup game or any of those other games, then you might not have your full-strength team. So all-time according to PremierLeague.com, played 53 games. Arsenal won 13. We drew 16. Man United have won 24. Goals for Arsenal 56. Goals for Man United 77. Now, they haven't broken that down for me into home and away because they're not very useful like that. So overall, they've had the upper hand over us over the years, haven't they?
They have, yeah. And I think it's it's one of those things where, especially in the last 25, 30 years, it's especially in the late 80s and into the 90s, it was either Arsenal or Man United. And it seems like they just were about a foot in front of us sort of on everything. And, what Ferguson brought to them. And obviously, like the class of 91, it was, while we were also at the peak of our sort of game, they were also at the peak of theirs. And like I said, just a bit in front of us, especially with head-to-head matchups.
Indeed. Right, looking back at previous fixtures for this game at our ground, look back at 17-18. They came to us and beat us 3-1. We don't really want to talk too much about that because that was quite depressing. That was December 2017. Game before that was 2016-17. They came to us and we beat them 2-0 in May 2017. That sounds more like it. Another win for us in 15-16. They came and we beat them 3-0 in October 2015. Game before that, they beat us 2-1 November 2014. And you go back any further than that, it becomes a little bit irrelevant because the entire team and managers and squad have all changed. But the one before that, February 2014, we drew 0-0. Now, the other things we need to look at, to take into consideration for this game, is injuries and suspension. So start with Arsenal, Bellerin, Holding and Welbeck. That's not too good. Plus,
they're not suspended, they're injured.
Say that again?
They're not suspended, they're injured.
I know. And then Torreira is injured. I'm suspended.
Yeah. It's what Danny said, but backwards. Torreira is suspended and the rest of them are injured.
Yeah, so we're going to come to who's going to cover for what position. But out of the three of ours that are injured and the one that is suspended, normally I think 3 out of those 4 players would start this game, wouldn't they? I know Danny Welbeck historically has played really well for us against Man United, but Bellerin would start at right back, Holding would start at centre back, and Torreira would start in central midfield, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I think absolutely, especially, no matter what formation we set up with, I think all 3 of those players, with how they were playing, would before they either picked up the injury or suspension, would come straight into the team. And then, like you said, I think having Welbeck, injured for this match is a big blow because he was always up for these matches and always played really well against his old team.
Still no return date for him yet. So, it's a bit of a shame that he's missing. All right, now we look at the Man United team. They have no suspensions and injuries. They've got Juan Mata, Matic, Phil Jones, Anthony Martial. This is from physioroom.com. So if any of these are wrong, go and sue them. Darmian, and Valencia. So that's 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. That's 9. Oh, and Bailey and Sanchez as well. The page had scrolled up. And also add to that, Jesse Lingard. Yes, so that is a hell of a lot of injuries. That's almost an entire first team, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it really is. And I think, tomorrow, I think, specifically in the midfield and attacking their fullbacks who aren't sort of their normal fullbacks, with Valencia being out. I think Darmian plays a significant amount of time as well at one of the fullback positions, if my memory serves me right. I could be completely wrong on that as well because I don't watch United because I hate them. But I think, definitely if Xhaka can have a good game tomorrow against, a midfield, it's not going to be, full strength. Mata does a lot in there. And I think if we can overwhelm their midfield, we'll have a really, really good chance tomorrow, especially with who they have out. And funny how Sanchez is out. I have a feeling for Sanchez, and I don't know, maybe a bit of the ego is hurt, as well as whatever body part he's nursing, because he's not had a great time there, which has been fantastic to see unfold.
He has 1 goal in 17 Premier League games this season. He's currently out with a knee ligament injury, which is brilliant to see. But like you were saying, some of those players,
knee ligament injury, a lot like Ozil's tracking back injury.
Probably, but I was looking recently, their recent run of magnificent form, which what Man United's form is. Jesse Lingard and Martial have had a massive part playing in that. And like you're saying, Valencia would be normally at right back. Phil Jones, well, if he's normally a centre back. Mato's been in and out of the team, and Eric Bailey. I don't really remember seeing much of him this season, but like you were saying, I don't really watch much of him.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest keys there is the fact that Martial is out, because he always seems to pop up with a goal against us as well, just like Welbeck does against them. He sort of has been our big bogey, against us in matches over the last few years. So that gives us hope, and if we can contain Pogba, I think we'll be okay.
Now, looking at recent form this season, we haven't lost a home Premier League game since the opening game of the season.
It's fantastic.
I didn't realise that. We have won 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 home Premier League games in a row.
Yeah. I think that bodes well for us going in, especially, I think if you would have asked, Arsenal fans going into sort of the last run-up of matches, starting with Spurs, you would have taken, 4 points from Spurs and United. And obviously, I think we're all still a little deflated, not only from the Rennes game, but from the Spurs game. And now it's crucial that we play as well at home as we have been against this United team, because, regardless of who we're playing at this point in the season, if we still want to get in the top 4, we have to have 3 points, especially with the Spurs result today, them dropping points, losing it the Saints. Thank you, James Ward-Prowse.
Oh, what a legend that kid is.
Yes.
Player.
So, yeah, it's crucial right now. No matter who we're playing, it just happens to be Man United, and we really, really need to continue that form at home, and hopefully we can. And I'll lead us into the formation talk. I really do think we'll probably play 4 at the back. We've only had 1 match there where I think we didn't look great, and that was because we played with 10 men for most of the match after Torreira got sent off on Thursday, and I don't think Emery got the substitutions right. But other than that, recently with the back 4, we've played okay back there, and I probably assume Mustafi will end up starting at the right back position. But what do you think formation wise? How do we set up tomorrow, Danny?
See, I was going to ask you, how do we define when we play 4 at the back, when we play 3 at the back? Because it was 4 against Spurs, 3 against Bournemouth, 4 against Southampton, 3 against Huddersfield, 4-2 against Man City, 4 against Chelsea and Cardiff, 3 against West Ham and Fulham, and the rest of those going back was there was 4 at the back. So I think a lot of the time it's had to do whether it was injured what players we have were injured. I mean, Bellerin being in and out of the team, Monreal being in and out of the team. Those players would be our automatic first choice picks. So I think a lot of the time it's been when those 2 are not playing. But Monreal is back in the team, and I think it's probably it's going to be Lichtsteiner. I think is his second choice right back, but I think Lichtsteiner isn't really going to be playing because he's either out of form or there was something not quite right about him.
I think he had picked up a quick niggle, and I don't think he's back into full match fitness yet.
We've got a few players on that list.
Yeah.
Do you think it'll be Mustafi playing at right back?
I do, if we play 4 at the back, I do. I think if we do end up moving to 3 at the back, and this, I think playing guess the formation with Emery is one of the big things that keeps Arsenal fans guessing right now. If we go 3 at the back, I think you would, probably maybe even see Maitland-Niles, although that's even hard to tell because you'd think that Maitland-Niles could have played right back against Rennes, and he obviously didn't. So maybe Emery doesn't. I know Arsblog was talking about that on his last podcast yesterday, but maybe Emery doesn't rate him there right now. I don't quite know. I think this is not the match I would want to bring Lichtsteiner back in at. I'd sort of almost rather see a 3 at the back. With just let Mkhitaryan sort of continue to track back with Iwobi on the left and see if we can, put in a solid defensive performance there, because it's going to have to start with our defense tomorrow being solid, moving forward, and really making sure that we one, don't get in any trouble trying to play out of the back. And then two, don't make any rash decisions. Socrates, Mustafi, looking at both of you right now, that can cost us, an early goal. I think the longer the game, either the longer that they don't score, obviously the better it is for us, especially at home. So, it's tough to tell with who's going to be, what the formation is and who's going to be where, but. It's another game. Do we think that he's going to bring Ozil in? I have no clue at all.
No, I don't really want to see Ozil playing in this game. They were saying in the Spurs game when we brought him on, I didn't think that it was the right player to bring on for that game. But you're looking at Man United in their previous games, in this magnificent run that Solskjaer has been on, they've usually played four, nearly every single time. I'm just looking. Yeah, every single time they played four at the back. So if we want to kind of mirror their formation, and then the last few games they've been playing two up front, and when they played Palace, they played 4-3-3. So I think personally, I'd go with Ramsey playing in the hole behind. Who would you play up front, Lacazette or Aubameyang?
Well, I think just because of Lacazette's suspension in Europa League, and the fact that Abba played a decent amount of minutes against Rennes, I would play Lacazette. The work rate is just better. He can affect the game a little bit more outside of just a pure goal scoring sort of contribution. I think, as great as Lacazette, or not Lacazette, but Aubameyang is at goal scoring. Some of the pressing, some of the work rate, some of the dropping deep just isn't really there all the time from him. That's not his game, and that's not why we bought him. But I think in this match, you really need somebody like Lacazette who's really going to put the effort in, put the work rate in, continue to press high. Chase down those center backs when they have the ball and try to create something. Because a few times this year, specifically with him doing that, we've actually been able to nick a couple of goals, and I think that can be key for us.
So we agree on the lineup. Leno in goal. It's who do you say is going to be at right back? Mustafi.
I think Mustafi. Yeah.
And then it's going to be Koscielny and Socrates at fullback. Centre back. And Monreal left back.
Yeah, This is the one where I don't quite know it. I think it all depends on if he wants to be more solid defensively or if he wants to try to go and attack them because we are at home, whether he plays Monreal. But I don't know. I have no clue who he's going to put there tomorrow.
We need somebody who's able to take long shots, because you see Man United against Southampton last week, Ward-Prowse scored that goal kick, that free kick from the middle of nowhere. And then the other bloke who scored today come running down the right-hand side, had a pot shot from the middle of nowhere, and now went straight past De Gea. So I think we need to have players that can do that. But I'd go with Monreal at left back. So partner in Xhaka in the centre midfield, who are you going to have?
It's got to be Guendouzi. Yeah. This isn't the match that you would want to bring El Neni in to, to sort of, I don't know, to make what would it be his first start this year in the Premier League. So I definitely think you'll see Guendouzi come in. I think he's going to be key if he can be calm and not give the ball away like it. I wasn't able to watch the Rennes game on Thursday, but it sounded like he just gave the ball away a lot, sort of sloppily. So if he can be a little more disciplined with the ball, I think we'll be okay. But I definitely see him coming in, and again, probably still looking at Mkhitaryan and Iwobi on the wings as well.
Lacazette up front. Yeah. So would you go with Ramsey playing behind Lacazette rather than Ozil?
I would actually. I think that fits us better right now with Ramsey's engine in there. Not that I think Ozil has an engine. People don't seem to value the ground that he covers, but he covers a lot of ground. But I think Ramsey is what we need in there. Somebody who can pick up the ball, carry it a little bit. Or find the pass as well. It's just he's got a couple of more dimensions that he brings to us with this formation with the two runners on the wings and then with the one striker up front. I definitely think I'd go with Ramsey.
And the only other possibility is play Ramsey in central midfield next to Xhaka and play Ozil ahead of him, but I don't think that would work with it. Too much creativity. I think it would. I think the one thing I feel that I've seen the most from Unai is he wants to make sure that we're solid defensively first, and we've seen where he's gone with almost no creative midfielders at all at times this season. So I think that would be highly unlikely and overly ambitious for what we've seen from Unai and his setups in the past. Well, there you go. That's taken us 14 minutes, 25 seconds. So we've got 35 seconds to waste. What should we talk about? I suppose predictions. What's your prediction?
What's your prediction? What's your prediction? Let's go ahead and do it. Let's
2-2.
2-2? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to say 4-3 us.
Ding dong.
It's gonna be one of those crazy ones. One of those crazy ones.
Excellent. Right, people, there you go. That is the shortest ABW show you have ever seen, because we've kept Chris and we've kept the Welsh Wonder away from it. So we will be live straight after about 5 minutes after the game on Sunday. Jason hosting. It's going to be Jason and John will both have these new microphones, which are magnificent. And who was with them? Who knows?
I believe it's Dom.
Huh?
Aussie Dom.
No.
I believe so.
We're spoiling you, giving you Aussie Dom. You lucky, lucky ladies. John and Dom on the same show. I would say Jason including that, but I won't. I'm waffling, Jace. So say goodbye to the lovely listener.
Goodbye, the lovely listener.
Bye-bye.